Noida, Uttar Pradesh, December 2011 to January 2019. Assistant Professor in JSS, Academy of Technical Education, Noida, Uttar Pradesh, February 2019 to December 2019. Associate Professor in JSS, Academy of Technical Education, Noida, Uttar Pradesh, December 2019 to till date. School of Engineering, Jawaharlal University, New Delhi. Journal publication, 12 journals, conference publication, 8 conference publications, PhD supervision, 2 students completed, 1 submitted, 2 student is ongoing. MTech thesis supervision, over 10 thesis supervised, BTech project supervision, over 20 projects supervised, project funding, up to rupees 10 lakhs, one project is funded and other is rupees 5 lakhs. That is one. Computational skills, proficiency in Fortran and MATLAB for scientific computation. Administrative responsibilities, national level, university level, and school level. Other achievements, GATE scholarship, Ministry of Human Resource and Development, Government of India, 2004 to 2006. Teaching experience awards, even semester academic year 2016-17 in JSS Academy of Technical Education, Noida, Uttar Pradesh, India. Hobbies, enjoying different occasions and playing cricket, watching sports and movies. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you to all.
Right. Thank you so much for introducing me. At the outset, I'd like to express my gratitude to Bamu Aurangabad for inviting me and giving me a time slot for the refresher course on e-governance, e-learning, and LMS. I've had a very long association with Bamu Aurangabad, and when I joined Jawaharlal Nehru University, in the first year, the faculty members are expected to do a faculty induction program. And it's a mandatory thing that we need to do in order to get CAS promoted. And you have to do it in the first year. And as soon as I joined in 2019 December, we were unfortunately hit by COVID in March 2020. And I think BAMU started its faculty induction program in the online mode. And I was a participant in the first BAMU FIP. So since then, I've been associated with BAMU and the HRDC personals, especially the Assistant Director, Professor Rafe. And I've been, in fact, even after that, more than a couple of times, I have been a participant like you in some of the refresher courses. In fact, in my CAS promotion from level 10 to level 11, I'm grateful to BAMU for giving me the FIP certificate and also another refresher courses. So BAMU I've had a very long association with, and I'm very grateful for it. And I hope it continues in future as well. Coming back to our refresher course today, where I am a resource person, I'll be speaking a little bit about e-governance, a little bit about e-learning, and some of the LMS systems that exist. We also started utilizing these e-resources, especially all of us in fact started utilizing e-resources, especially at the time when we were hit with COVID. So things became, e-governance is something which has been there for quite some time now, but e-learning and LMS systems, they have also existed, but their utility just hit us when we were all unfortunately struck by COVID. And in fact, I'll tell you, though I'm an engineer and I have some degrees in engineering, I was not very well aware of Google Classrooms till COVID hit us. I mean, I never used to use it for my classroom teaching, but I realized that there are some resources which are very useful. And even after COVID now, these things have, kind of found a way to continue with us. And of course, nothing replaces a student-teacher interaction in a class and one-to-one interaction. But there are a lot of things that, these e-resources and e-learning methods and LMS, make easy for us. So I think we'll have a discussion on these things. So we are here together from 11 to 2. Of course, I'm not going to be speaking continuously for that long, but let me give you a brief outline of how the lecture is going to go. So in the first half of my lecture, I'll be talking about e-governance. We'll have some discussion on it. I'll speak about it around maybe for like about 45 minutes to 1 hour. I'll speak on it, and then we can have a break for about 5-10 minutes. You people can refresh yourself and then come back, and we'll talk a little bit about e-learning. And then I think again another 45 minutes to 50 minutes we'll talk about e-learning, and we'll again take a break for about 5-10 minutes. And therefore in the last leg, the third leg, we'll talk a little bit about LMS, and whenever it finishes, we finish. So it's like that. So I think there'll be some adequate breaks, and we'll continue. It's very difficult to sit for 3 hours and listen to somebody staring at a screen, so I don't want that. In fact, it's even very difficult to even speak for 3 hours. So we'll have these breaks, and if there are any questions, you can bring it up, or we'll just continue. So I begin. I begin with the first leg of this lecture on e-governance, e-learning, and LMS. And I talk about e-governance first. So let me, introduce what e-governance is. We hear about this quite a lot. There are a lot of initiatives by the government as well. So let me just share the screen, and my slides will come. Yeah, so I hope that it's visible. I think the slide.
Visible, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Yes. So let me also kind of, start the slideshow so that, yeah, great. Just 1 second. Yeah, so coming to e-governance. Um, so e-governance is actually the implementation of the digital technology in government processes. And the idea is, of course, to increase efficiency and transparency. Not everything can be made available, um, in a paper format or in a format where everything, reaches you by word of mouth. And because of the advent of internet and Wi-Fi, smartphones, it's possible now for the government to reach you through, certain digital platforms and digital technology. And that kind of, speeds up the process of disseminating information. It also kind of helps you to attain these informations easily. Like for example, uh, suppose you want to file tax return, right? So you don't have to stand in long queues with forms that you have filled using a pen and paper and submitted. Quite honestly, I've never seen that time myself in my lifetime. So what happens is that you go online, there's a form you fill, and everything is done online only, and you get acknowledgements, and whatever refund is also, initiated. Or if you have to pay, unfortunately, a little more amount than what you've already paid, all this happens online. So what is all this? This is actually a part of e-governance. The government is implementing certain things which are going to only increase your comfort, and also, efficiency and transparency. It encompasses various aspects such as online services, digital communication, electronic record keeping. All this comes as a part of, you know, uh, e-governance. As I said that, paying your income tax is one of the online services available. These days, you can even pay your electricity bill, phone bill, whichever bill you can talk about online. You can, get information about counselings. Many of you probably have children as big as college going, and If suppose you have to fill a form, you don't have to go to the college, get a prospectus, fill the form with hand, go submit it. All these things are not required anymore. In fact, even counselings, which used to happen during our days in the offline mode, where you used to sit in an auditorium and people used to call your name and you used to go, those kind of things don't happen anymore. The counselings for undergraduate courses like BTech today happens simply by uh, use sitting on a computer and just typing certain things and putting your preferences and seeing whether you get it based on your merit. So all this is actually what this is all a part of e-governance and online services. A digital communication, the best example of digital communication is whatever you do using your phone, right? Digital communication also is very prevalent, especially in form of the television that we see. That's also a part of digital communication. Your phones are a part of digital communications. Smart watches, these Fitbits that have come that calculate the number of steps that you've taken, the calories that you spend, all becomes a part of this digital communication. So pretty much every device that we use is digital. You're sitting on a computer which is digital, digitally interacting and communicating. So it's all become a part of e-governance. Record keeping, of course, electronic record keeping is there today. It's very easy today to just type your PAN number and get all the information about your financial records, how many loans you have, how many EMIs you have, how much credit card bills have to be paid. In fact, uh, one day my wife asks me, Varun, we have a credit card. Can we buy something from it? And I had already bought a lot of things from it and I did not tell her. And she was like, okay, so, can we buy it? I said, yeah, maybe, not this month, maybe next month or something, because I had to pay some bills. I did not tell her, to be very honest. And she just types my PAN card number and she comes to know that Varun, you're an outstanding bill of some thousands of rupees. What did you do about it? So I had bought a pen basically. So I got caught. So so electronic record keeping is obviously a part of. I mean, of course, it increases efficiency. It lets you keep a tab and everything. So these things are handy, but it can also get you into trouble sometimes, like it got me into trouble. Anyways, so in fact, one of the very important things about these online services that you have this auto pay facility these days. Like uh, you can pay your electricity bill, and you don't even have to pay it; it gets automatically paid. Of course, there are disadvantages to that as well, but these facilities are kind of convenient. And of course, there are issues with the e-governance and the digital platform, definitely. I don't know how many people know about this, but on Netflix OTT, there is a program called Jam Tara. I don't know how many people have heard of it. Yeah, so it comes in two seasons and it tells you how these people, some of the thugs, they have started, exploiting people on these electronic platforms, e-governance platforms. In fact, I'll tell you, because of e-governance, there have been a lot of issues which I'll discuss later. But e-governance is, when we appreciate something, we also have to understand that it comes with certain bottlenecks and certain repercussions. And we'll talk about that. But on and e-governance is always the main purpose and aim of e-governance was official, to improve the efficiency and transparency. It has happened to a very great extent, but as with everything else, there are some shortcomings and there are some disadvantages. But the advantages, the convenience, the improved efficiency, the improved transparency, the ease of doing things far outweighs the disadvantages, and that's why it is popular and it will always be there. As it's written on one of the slides, that e-governance aims to enhance citizen participation and improve government service delivery. I mean, after all, what is the purpose of any government? The purpose of any government is to make life, ideally speaking, to make life of the citizens easy, to provide whatever services the government has to provide easy, and to disseminate any information that the government has to give to the citizens easily, promptly, and in time, right? So these are basically some of the aspects of e-governance that I wanted to bring about. Now, here is some types of e-governance that I want to discuss. It's there on one of the block diagrams. So the first is G2C, which is government to citizen. And these are some services that we have been talking about. Transportation comes into it, hospitals come into it, education comes into it, online job portals, taxation comes into it, all these things. I mean, this list is not exhaustive, but I just wanted to mention some of the things so that you can relate to G2C type of e-governance that exists in our country. The second is G2G, which is government to government. And central government has various ministries, various departments they need to communicate to themselves. You have central government, you have state governments, you have union territories. So there is government to government interactions that keep on happening. And that also kind of happens through e-governance only. Like, I'm here in a central university. Most of the files that we move for approvals, for funding, all of them happen through a e-portal, which is called as e-office. So that is basically what I'm trying to talk about. Most of the government communication happens electronically through some NIC, National Informatics Center based software. So and I'm sure that that is how it happens in the ministries as well. So government to government is also a type of e-governance which exists. Some of the examples could be, live fingerprinting, scanning and verification, electronic entry of reports and paperwork that I've been discussing, e-secretariat, e-police, e-courts, all these things. There are e-courts where you can pay fines, e-police where you can file complaints online. So those kind of facilities, like for example, I remember everybody must have, I'm going back to government to citizen. Everybody must have filled up form for getting passports. You don't have to fill forms and stand in lines these days. You go to a website and you fill it and you get it, right? So this is a type of e-governance. The third type of e-governance is government to business. All right. So G2B. So here we talk about e-taxation, the taxes that you give, getting a license from government, right? So you get your driver's license. People get their heavy vehicles license, all sorts of licenses.
इसका भी नोट डाउन करता रहना, ये इसका क्लास का भी नोट डाउन करना, कहना सेम.
Yeah. Secure electronic transactions that we do, like these Bharat Pay portals, the UPIs and e-banking, and you're paying things through your banking, net banking and all that. That all becomes a part of government to business transactions. And the last part which I wanted to talk about is government to employee, right? So the government also has, central government has many employees, state governments have many employees, and the private universities and colleges, they also have their employees, so they come up with certain portals. So of course, you have consolidating of the employees database, sharing knowledge amongst employees, e-learning methods, and so on and so forth. We all work in institutions where information comes to us from administration, and not every time information comes to us in form of paper, right? So sometimes you get emails, sometimes you get notices. uh, you have these whenever you join an institution, you get an email ID with their domain name, right? So what is that for? That's not for personal messages. That's for disseminating important messages that the institution wants to give to you. So these are the types of e-governance models. Of course, then again, these are not all exhaustive, but these are some of the things that touch us on a daily basis, and we all experience it. So government to citizen, well, everybody experiences. Maybe not government to government. We don't experience that, but it's a part of e-governance. Government to business definitely is a part of our lives, and government to employees also a part of our life. It may not be government, it may be an institution to employees, but the fact remains that you are being governed by certain rules and regulations wherever you work, and that becomes a part. So maybe not government to employee, but maybe institution to employee, right? So these are certain types. Just 1 second. I'm having trouble, yeah, moving the slide here. Just 1 second. So coming next to Just 1 second. Yeah. Just give me a second. I'm just having some problems in.
Sir, try to share the entire screen so that these problems can be avoided. It's a request.
I'm sorry.
Try to share the entire screen so that these problems can be avoided.
Sir, he
I,
had shared full screen, sir.
I had actually done that only. Just 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you see it? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
the
sir.
next slide is what are the key components of e-governance? We have already discussed some of the types of e-governance, but you have you have e-services. Of course, here we talk about provisions of government services which are available online, like tax filing, license applications, bill payments. We talked about them. E-participation. This is something which is new. Like for example, there are a lot of times we see this happening in family groups. Like I live in a joint family, so I'll start with that and then I'll go to e-participation at a much larger scale. So sometimes what happens is, suppose there is a function which has to happen. Let's say it's somebody's birthday and we need to decide what to do. Should we celebrate it at our home or should we go out and eat something? So what we do is that we kind of arrange a very small poll on one of our family WhatsApp groups and people vote on it. And based on that, we decide what we're supposed to do. Similarly, there are various portals, like everybody lives in some sort of a society or an apartment building where you have an RWA, and suppose there is some function or there's an important decision to be made, and I'm sure that there has to be some sort of a discussion on it, many fights also on it. So all that can happen by e-participation these days. You can pretty much poll on everything. A very interesting thing happened in my university a few days back. What happened was that we were making I'm also an examination coordinator in my school, and in a school of engineering we have about 550 600 students of various semesters and batches. So we were to plan the end semester examinations. So some students come to me, some student representatives, and they say that, sir, we have conducted a poll and this is the way we want the exams to happen. On this date we want this exam, on this date we have want this exam. I said, how did you do that? They were like, sir, we just send some we just send some what do you call it we send students a poll in which we ask students to give us their preferences. So it was an online poll which they took on unofficial WhatsApp groups of theirs, and then they come to us. So e-participation has become some a big part of how we decide these days. And of course, on a larger scale, citizens become a part of it. I do not know whether you are aware of it, but the UGC, whenever they come up with some draft regulations, whether it is for academics, whether it is for promotions, for whatever, the way the teachers need to be conducted, rules and regulations which the faculty and the administration will abide by, they always send some draft regulations on the websites, and then they expect citizens and other people and other stakeholders to comment. So and they happen, they ask you to write mails and things like that. So citizens can obviously become a part of the decision making processes through online, and of course consultations happen online, and there are often feedback mechanisms. Like for example, uh, whenever you're traveling in train, at the end of your journey, I mean, if you download an app, you can obviously, or you can always give a feedback of how your journey was, what did you like in that train, does the washrooms and the toilets require cleaning or whatever. I mean, so there are feedback mechanisms which allow you to participate and contact and give your views and opinions, and all this becomes an integral part of e-governance. E-records, e-records are very important. Digitization and management of government records and documents for easy access and retrieval. It's not about just government. Like many people, they share market and mutual fund investments are a very fine example of e-records, right? You put a certain amount of money as a systematic investment plan in some government mutual fund or LIC or wherever. Your bank accounts, for instance, you can get an idea of how much money you have. Not an idea, you can get the exact amount of how much money you have how much money you spend it, how much has been debited, how much has been credited. All this is available today to you at a click of a button just by putting your username and password. So things have become easy. So this is basically what is it, digitization. In fact, digitization is so prevalent that many of us don't get to feel a currency note in our hands. Money comes in our account, we spend it online, we pay all our bills online, we buy vegetables online, we buy all groceries online, we buy clothes online, we pay either through our e-banking facility or we pay through UPI. In fact, I don't remember when was the last time I was carrying some currency notes and I went and I bought something. Quite honestly, I don't know. And I'm sure that many of you will relate to it, that digitization has made this possible, that you can actually move around without currency notes in your pocket. Of course, I will not advise it because the facilities, like you need internet for it, and sometimes internet is not available, and then you don't have anything. So this is one of the things that I do, and I've been advised many times to carry some currency notes, but now it has become a habit. I'm not moving with them. But yeah, digitization has made things easier and simpler for us. Uh, Government records management, of course, government has all its records. You don't need to hide. Maybe I will request the participants to kind of mute. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir. Done, sir. Sorry, sir.
So no problems. So key components, so we were discussing them. So I think we have already discussed, the types of e-government models. Government to citizen, government to business, government to government, and government to employee. We've already discussed this. Yeah. So now we come to some challenges which are there in the implementation of e-governance, right? Uh, there is a digital divide, right? So what do we mean by digital divide? Digital divide means that there's an unequal access to technology and internet infrastructure, limiting citizens' participation. Of course, there is one thing which you know is a is comes even before digital divide. It's like even today, though services are being made available by the government to citizens of the country, but people are not aware of them. Many people are not aware of it, especially people who come from weaker economic sections, especially people who come from far-flung villages where these things have not penetrated, or even if they have penetrated, people do not understand how to use it. And illiteracy is a major reason for that to happen. How will you use a phone when you do not know what numbers are, right? How are you going to type a message when you do not know how to type one? I mean, I'm not talking about English. I'm talking about your own language. You may be able to speak it, but you may not be able to type it. So these are the kind of things that create problems. Of course, there was a time when we were growing up, during my school days, there were many places that did not have electricity, and I'm sure that that situation has been remedied to a great extent. But today also there are villages in various states where there is no access to electricity. If there is no electricity, you cannot access internet. All these e-governance initiatives, the word e, means electronic, and electronic things can only run on electricity, and they can only run if you have Wi-Fi. So electricity is the prerequisite. So if you don't have it, and if you don't have it in a way in which it can be used in a widespread manner, sorry, it's difficult. It's impossible to use it, right? I remember there was a time when, I'm sure everybody will relate to it. We never had internet in our homes. People did not have laptops. People did not have desktops. There were some internet cafes where you could go, and you just pay a certain amount of money for half an hour, and then you can access your mails and do whatever you wanted to do, take printouts, whatever. It was a fun time. I remember I used to just tell my mother I'm going to the internet cafe. That was one of the ways to avoid studying for long hours. You just say that there is some important work and you go. So I used to do that. So I remember those internet cafe days. So why was it there? Because the kind of infrastructure which was required to make internet available at your home was not present. I do not. I think maybe you'll remember there were massive infrastructural drives that the government took to lay down fiber optic so that signals can come to your home. uh, when Geo was penetrating all over the country, Geo was digging up roads, of course, on the permission of the government, and putting fiber cables so that they could, transmit their signals and their Wi-Fi signals to everybody's home. Installation of large internet towers, installation of electricity grids, all these things have only happened very slowly, and they're still not there for large part of the country, especially the interior rural areas. So that is what we mean by digital device. People, first of all, of course, illiteracy is one of the reasons. People do not know how to type, people do not understand what is coming on the screen, they can't read it. Even though they can converse in their languages, they can't read, they can't write. So that is, I think, probably being remedied to a great extent, but still, it exists. Then, of course, the access to electric infrastructure, I'll say, not ever, even today, I'm sure that there are many places that do not have electricity, right? Maybe very less compared to the rest of the country, but there are still those places. And even if they have electricity, they do not have the infrastructure to provide these e-services based on the availability of internet and Wi-Fi. So that is basically what I mean by digital divide, and it is still prevalent. Of course, with time it will decrease, but the fact remains that it is there, right? Privacy and security, that is paramount, right? Today we are dependent upon banks and the services the banks provide us to such an extent that we don't even visit bank branches, right? So we put a lot of trust on things which happen on internet, right? I have a saving banks account. I've been working for like more than a decade now. I have never gone to a bank and drawn my salary out. Never, right? So I'm sure that many people can relate to it as well. We don't go to banks now to take money out. We don't go to banks to deposit money. It all happens online, right? We move huge chunks of money. Uh, I remember those times when to get admission, you needed to pay the fees by making a demand draft. And that was perhaps the only time I used to visit the banks. Thereafter, I have not done it. I don't know how many people do that. Today, everything can be paid in an online manner. So security becomes very, very important. Privacy is also very important. I don't want the rest of the world to know what kind of transactions I'm doing. Privacy is also very important. Security is important, right? Unauthorized access we don't want. People are spying, there are people who can, there is always a see, whenever you're doing something online, you are actually communicating only. There is a different way to communicate, but you're communicating. Just like when you're talking to somebody, somebody can eavesdrop and hear you. Similarly, when you're communicating through digital means, people can see what you're doing. So, you need to ensure that that is minimized. I do not think that that can ever be eliminated, but I think that to a large extent it can be minimized, and it is minimized. Many of us have never been duped, and I hope and I pray to God that we are never duped and things work very smoothly. So privacy and security is, of course, one of the concerns and one of the challenges in implementing e-government. uh, Even with all the privacy and security, these people who are trying to cheat people of their money and resources, they are very successful. In fact, of just a few months back, my father-in-law lost 1 lakh rupees, a little less than 1 lakh, 99,000 something rupees, through some scam that was played digitally, and it was a major blow to them. And one of the unfortunate things is that these people, they target old people who are not very tech savvy, and these are one of the few pitfalls of all this internet operating, operational bank accounts and transactions. It's very sad, um, and people need to be aware of it. So I will definitely encourage all the people who are here, if they have not watched Jam Tara 1 and Jam Tara 2, they should watch it and they should understand how they can be scammed using these digital means. So I would really, really want everybody to watch it on OTT platform Netflix. I'm not advertising Netflix here, but I think this is an important thing that people need to do. They need to be aware of how they can be um, exploited, and they can be financially at a loss. Resistance to change. Well, this is also something which, it's an inherent property that we all humans have. It's actually a part of our character. Why to change something if it is working fine? And this is something that we generally see uh, with people probably a generation older than us. For them, it's like, why do we need to go on the internet to do anything? We'll go and do things from the bank. Of course, it's safe, it's safer, but then it is time consuming. It's not always possible. But people resist changes. Like, only very late in my lifetime, I saw my mother using the option. I would request participant 13 to mute. Thank you so much. So resistance to change is, of course, a very wide. It's actually a roadblock in implementing successful e-governance initiatives. Um, it's not just with us. It's everywhere. Like even in government officials, even in various offices, people don't want to use these methods. They still want everything on a paper and pen. And one of the unfortunate things is that even today, when we have e-office in our government institutions, like in my central university, Jawaharlal Nehru University, most of the things happen online. But one of the most frustrating things is that there are certain things which have to be done online also, and then you have to do it on paper also. But that is kind of that kind of thing has kind of existed with us. And people are accustomed to traditional processes. They feel more comfortable if things are written on a piece of paper. Like, for example, I'll give you one example. So I was a part of a committee in which I participated in the decision making process, and the minutes of that meeting were created, and everybody had to sign. So before signing, of course, the draft minutes are circulated, and you can suggest changes if you want, and if nothing is, nothing needs to be changed, then you're like, okay, I'll sign and whatever. So, so of course, everybody has to sign. So people were signing on it, and my signs were pending, and I was on leave, and it had to be submitted. So what happened was that I said, okay, fine, doesn't matter. Uh, I can like e-sign the document. I can send you e-signature on the document. You can scan it once everybody has signed. No, 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 sir. You have to sign with ink. You have to do that. I said, why can't I write on a mail that I agree to all points and you can just attach my mail? I mean, it's coming from my email ID. I'm writing it. Only I know the user and password. Like, no, 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 sir. You have to come and you have to sign with a pen. So it's a traditional process. There was there was absolutely no way how to do it, and you will not believe, in fact, the document was delayed by one day just so I can come and sign on a piece of paper using an ink. So yeah, so people resist to those kind of things. Of course, my digital signatures have been given to me by Government of India only, but they wanted me to sign using a paper and a pen. Anyway, so there are these challenges. I'm sure there are many other challenges, but these are, I think, probably the few that I wanted to kind of mention, right? Yeah. So moving ahead, now I come to some of the successful implementation of e-governance initiatives, and I've taken some examples from some other countries also, and India, of course. We are all Indians, so I'll talk about that as well. But there's a country called Estonia, and it is known for its very advanced digital infrastructure. All these countries which are the foreign nations, one of the advantages that they have over India is that their population is almost negligible compared to India. So implementing these initiatives become very easy there compared to implementing them in India. Anyways, so they offer e-residency and e-government services for pretty much everything. If you have to buy a property, you don't need to go to a registry office and give your thumb impressions and all that. That's not needed. In India today also, you need to go to deputy commissioner's office or registry office. You have to get your photos clicked. You have to get. They will take your biometrics. They will also tell you to stamp using your thumb and fingers. It's still happening. But those kind of things don't happen in those countries, right? We still want paper and pen. We want the documents to be in a lockers. So those kind of things still exist. Anyways, Singapore is a very developed country. It's a very advanced country, and almost everything that they do is online. So, e-government initiatives are there to provide seamless services to citizens and businesses. In India, Aadhaar is one of the most uh, prevalent example of successful government e-governance initiatives, right? Today, Aadhaar card is needed for pretty much everything, right? And it can be used to prove your nationality and many other things, right? So Aadhaar, when it was coming up, people were looking at it through a lot of suspicion. Of course, there are problems with it. There was a time when people could just get their fake Aadhaar cards made very easily, and they still happen. But the fact remains that Aadhaar is our identity now for pretty much everything, and it's a very successful e-governance initiative, and they have been able to maintain it in a very dignified way. And today, your Aadhaar number is your identity in so many ways, right? Digital India for digital empowerment. That's also one of the most successful initiatives that India has been able to do, right? Other very successful e-governance initiatives, I would say, is that you are able to pay your uh, phone bill, gas bill, electricity, water, all these bills you can pay online. In India, you also have these facilities of IRCTC is a very good example of e-governance. We pretty much book it. I remember me going to a railway booking center for booking tickets and standing in queues. But today we don't do it. We just sit, in our bedrooms on our bed, and we just book the tickets that we want to do, and it's very, very convenient, right? So that is a successful e-governance. Passport facilities, you don't have to go anywhere. You fill up the forms, you take a date, you just go and submit your documents. That's it. So, well, of course, things have only improved and they've become better with time. And e-governance has its own, benefits, and many examples of successful implementation of e-governance initiatives exist in our country. So here I've taken, an example of a case study where digital transformation happened in one of the countries. Um, uh, so, uh, I mean, Rwanda implemented e-government initiatives to improve service delivery and reduce corruption. There is, there is, there are no middlemen. Yeah, right. So, uh, I don't know whether you remember when we were going and booking tickets, train tickets on these using what we call as the booking centers. There were always some guys, some fishy guys who used to stand and used to say, no, no, you just give us some extra money, we will book your tickets, because they had some kind of a understanding with the ticket booking people that your ticket will be booked and you will get a confirmed ticket and whatnot. And also all those things, passport it used to be there, in license it used to be there. People would never go directly, they would always want an agent to do it for them. Those kind of things, they're the corrupt practices, right? But e-governance facilities, they have reduced corruption. I remember after my marriage, I wanted to go and get a marriage certificate. Everything happened online. I really didn't have to go. We just went, we showed up, they took a photographs, and we got our certificate, uh, what do you call it, online. When my son was born, and the birth certificate just came on my internet. I mean, I just had to go click a link and the certificate was available. I never went to the registry office where you have birth certificates and death certificates being made. So never did I go. So even in a country like Rwanda, it's an East African country, and they were able to were implementing. So it's not just in India. I mean, the reason why I chose the example of Rwanda is that in Africa the countries are well, there the literacy level is not very good. People still strive to get their very basic needs, but then there are some countries which are very responsible and they're implementing uh, e-governance initiatives and transforming digitally how they interact with the people. And so they are basically starting very early. Of course, India came to this digital revolution quite late. But these countries, they are doing it only because of the fact that uh, they see all this happening in the rest of the world. So it becomes important that uh, they start early. And digital transformation is one thing. What really makes the country developed in so many ways is the kind of infrastructure you require for digital transformation, right? As I mentioned before, you cannot have digital transformation without electricity. You cannot have digital transformation without Wi-Fi. You cannot have digital transformation without literacy. So when you think about these things, as a part of the prerequisite to these things, you are improving certain things which play a very big role in developing the country by and large to a greater extent. So that's why digital transformation is only follows after certain things are done. So if you want to push for digital transformation, you need to push for some things before that, and that kind of develops a nation. Yeah, so there are some future trends to e-governance. Uh, you can, there was a time when you used to go to the banks. Then there was a time when you could use e-banking. Today you can, do all your banking transactions on phone as well, right? You can be sitting in a bus and you can transfer money. You can be sitting in a bus and you can shop. Of course, there's a disadvantage as well because you can do it anytime. But mobile governance is possible. You don't need to be stationary at a certain place to do tasks that you want to do. You can pay your electricity bill even while going to office. You can pay your phone bill or water bill even when you are in a meeting, right? If today right now if I need to transfer some money, even though I'm giving you a lecture, I can still do it. So there is mobile governance, right? There is an increased accessibility to applications using a mobile phone, right? Our phones have become smart. The smartphones have made that possible uh, for us, right? So mobile governance, the governance is no longer just digital and stationary. It's on the move, so to speak. Blockchain technology, this is a concept. It's an advanced concept in computer science that students study. Utilizing blockchains for secure and transparent digital transactions and record keeping. So blockchain technology, you can Google it, what it is all about. I do not know how many people are from science or computer science background here. But blockchain technology is considered to be one of the most trustworthy technologies that can ensure secure and transparent transactions. Because whatever digital we do, um, security is important, and transparency also, because you need to know, like for example, you're operating your own account, you send some money and your account should debit right in front of you or in a matter of few seconds, right? So it should be transparent. It should not be that अच्छा हमने बटन तो दबा दिया है, अभी हम भेज देंगे आपका पैसा. ऐसा तो नहीं चाहते ना हम. अब if suppose I have to pay some money to somebody, get a message, okay, fine, you click the button, you record it, we will send it to somebody. We don't want all that. No? We want transparent things. Whatever we do, it should just come on the screen almost immediately that it has happened, right? When you pay using your, UPI transaction, whenever you do, you get a message that your UPI transaction is successful, right? Money gets debited from your account, you get a message for that as well, right? Somebody who receives the money gets a message for that. If you open your account and you see your account balance, it gets debited. If you get money from somebody, it gets credited. That is a part of transparency. What else is it? So, you require such things to be transparent. Artificial intelligence, well, I mean, I'm an engineer. I am always very wary of artificial intelligence, but then AI has become a very important part of e-governance. And whatever, I'm sure everybody is addicted to online shopping. I'm sure, I mean, many of you are. I mean, I am addicted to it to some extent. And AI is very dangerous. If you go to Amazon and maybe if you spend about 15-20 minutes searching for something, the next time you open Amazon, you will get advertisements for those kind of things. I'm sure that you must have noticed or realized it. Like I used to buy a lot of pens from Amazon. So if anybody would open my Amazon login, you will immediately come to know that this guy likes pens, not because you don't even have to go to my order history. They keep flashing advertisements of some company pen, and some ink that is available and so on and so forth. So, uh, so integration of AI digitally has made it possible to, automate processes and improve decision making. I mean, it's not always bad. Sometimes I don't even know some brand which is offering a very good product, but it flashes on my screen because the computer pushes it there. It's like, okay, you buy this. And so you buy it sometimes very skeptically, but then you buy it and you later realize that it's a good thing. Um, I also used to, search for clothing brands online. So I had an Instagram account which I deactivated some time back because I was wasting a lot of time on it. So one day this advertisement comes in front of me, some small shot of some Bangalore-based company selling shirts, and I'm like, okay, let me see. It looks nice. I bought it and it was very good, and today almost all my shirts are from that company. So I mean, I would be grateful to that, but then I don't want that kind of decision making to go to a computer for everything that I do. So yeah, there are pitfalls, but I think by and large it's not a bad idea. But artificial intelligence has become an integral part of e-governance processes these days. Like, I give you a small example. Suppose you how many, I'm sure that people are using chat gpt, right? I mean, chat gpt is like an example of AI to a great extent. So like, for example, if you go to irctc and you type your you type your for starting from where you're going to your destination and some possible days, it can give you the best possible deals, right? How is that happening? That's happening using AI. If you've done those kind of transactions before, like I remember, I mean, there was a time when I was a frequent traveler to Bangalore, and I used to book my tickets online, the flight tickets. So and I had my login ID and password. So whenever I used to log in, they would automatically push Bangalore flight timings and which flight is the cheapest, when is it cheapest, which are the days at which it will be the cheapest. They would just push all this information right there on my screen. And there were many times I was not even going to Bangalore, but they would do that. Why? How is that happening? It's happening because they keep a track of where I'm going, how I'm going, how often do I go, what are the days during the month that I normally travel, whether I travel on weekends, whether I travel on certain weekdays. So they're proposing different things to me. So yeah, AI has become a great part of how we move around today and how we transact businesses. So yeah, these are some future trends, and they're only going to be more strengthened. And I repeat again, be wary of AI. You have to be wary of AI. So coming to key considerations on e-governance implementations, of course, infrastructure, you have to develop robust internet connectivity, as we had discussed, and digital information for seamless service delivery. We don't want disruptions when we are using these e-governance initiatives, right? When we are paying money, we don't want our internet connection to go away, and the money will get stuck. So we need internet connectivity, we need electricity, we need this digital infrastructure to be there. So infrastructure is one very important thing for e-governance implementation. Capacity building, even though you have all this, people don't know how to use it. So you need training programs for government officials, for employees, for citizens to adapt to digital technologies and processes. There is a resistance to change, and people need to be told that yes, these things will make your life easy. You can use them, but you use them carefully. If you use them carefully, your life is going to be easy, and it's a fact. I mean, there is no lie in it. If you use these things carefully, they will only make your life better. So capacity building is of course very important. Collaborations are important. All everybody has to come together. We cannot say that, okay, e-governance is only available for people living in rural areas or urban areas, or they're only available to people who are of a certain age, color, creed. We can't do all that, right? We also cannot say that, okay, only the government sector can use it, but private sector cannot. Everybody has to come together, right? The government has to come together, the private sector has to come together, the civil societies have to come together, the welfare groups have to come together. Everybody has to come together, and there has to be a collaboration and a larger understanding that these things are, if used carefully, are only going to make things better and convenient for us. So these are some key considerations. It's not rocket science to come to know about it, but I just thought that maybe I should mention it. So, I'm coming to an end of the first phase of the lecture. I'm going to conclude with the following remarks. Is that e-governance, I mean, it's very vital for modernizing government processes and improving citizen satisfaction with whatever government is doing. It has a potential for increasing efficiency, transparency, citizen participation in government affairs. And successful implementation, of course, has to address challenges. You have to understand what the future trends are going to be. And currently, the future trend is moving towards automating these processes and including more of AI. And of course, collaboration amongst various stakeholders. Here are some of the services which are, available these days in an online mode. So you have rural services, you have some police facilities which are available, some social services. I just thought that maybe I should kind of mention them. Right. So, I mean, these are some of the references from where I kind of, took this data and made the slides. All right. So I think it's been an hour. I think we can take a break of about 10 minutes or something. And we'll
Yes,
come
sir.
back. We'll come back. We'll come back around. So what's the time right now? The time is like 11:50.
12 o'clock.
Yeah, so 12 o'clock. So we'll meet around
It's
15.
12:15.
12:15 we'll meet, and we'll continue with the next leg of our presentation, right? Okay, see
Yes,
you.
sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. You're not audible. आवाज येत नाहीये.
तर अजून सुरूच झालेला नाहीये थांबा
तर ब्रेक दिलाय थोडा वेळ. सर येतील 12:15 वाजता येणार आहे.
Madam, can we leave up to 12:15?
1 मिनिट बाकी आहे सर. 1 मिनिटामध्ये कसं लिव्ह करणार आणि पुन्हा कसं जॉईन होणार?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, hello. So I think we can
Good
start.
afternoon, sir.
Afternoon. So I mean, before we start, what about so this refresher course? People are primarily from which part of the country? I mean, of course, like anybody can join, but are you all of you are primarily from like Maharashtra or nearby states, or how many participants are there? I can see some 59 roll number. How many people are participating in it? You may have got a schedule, right?
Yes, sir. 73 participants are there.
73
And they are joined
participants.
from Assam, Kanyakumari, Maharashtra, Kashmir.
Oh, I see. And who am I speaking to right now? Who?
Karnataka also, ma'am.
Yes, Karnataka also.
Karnataka also. You know, before
I'm Dr. Seema Dhage, sir.
I see. Ma'am, you're from which state?
I'm from Maharashtra, sir.
Oh, Maharashtra. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, before I joined Jawaharlal Nehru University, I was working with the JSS Mahavidyapitha, their institution in Noida. So people of Karnataka may know. And uh, I've visited Karnataka quite a lot of times, especially Bangalore. So I like Mysore also quite a bit. Anyways, right. So how many people from science background? I mean, are there any people from engineering science background? No, nobody. Anyway, doesn't matter. All right.
There
So
are
let's
many
start.
from computer
Sir, there
science
are
and the chemistry. There are many, sir.
Oh, chemistry is there. What else is there?
Mathematics, sir.
Oh, mathematics. I see, sir. Where are you from, sir? Mathematics.
Bilaspur, Chhattisgarh, sir.
I see. I see. So you're in school or college, sir? Which
College, sir.
what do you teach, sir?
Sir,
What are your areas?
Science PG college, sir.
Okay, sir. What do you teach, sir?
Algebra, functional analysis.
I see, sir. I also kind of, though I'm not really, but I kind of believe myself to be an applied mathematics guy, sir. I work in uh, solving differential equations using perturbation methods and simulating them using computers. Mostly that was my work that I've done. And chemistry, somebody said chemistry also. So where are you from, sir? Chemistry. Oh, it's not there. Is there anybody from economics?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right, right. Great.
Actually, I am from English background, sir.
Oh, English. Oh, that's
I'm from
Where we
economics.
have people from library sciences and also, so we have people from varied disciplines. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a very interesting incident that happened with me. So all my academic life, I never visited the library, and in any of my institutions, I have never got myself issued a library card. Never. I don't have any, and never had a library card. So once I finished my MTech, this is around like 2006 and all. So I was about to get my degree. So before that, you go for no dues. So I went to the library also for no dues. Obviously, I did not take any book from library because I did not have a library card. So I go there, and this deputy librarian, he starts looking for my library card, and obviously he couldn't find it because there was none. And then he comes back to me, he's like, "Where is your library card?" I said, "Sir, I do not have a library card. I never got one issued." So he looks at me, and then there is a silence, and he goes inside. I don't know what, I thought maybe I committed a crime or something. So he goes back inside. It's this. He talks to the head librarian for 5 minutes. He comes back. He says, "The head librarian wants to see you." And I was like, why would he want to see me? What did I do? I mean, I did not even get library cards issued. I never entered this building. How can I do anything wrong? So I went inside. I said, can I come in? He's like, yeah. So what is your name? Which course? Okay. Where are you going? What are you doing? I said, so I said, sir, he's like, okay, thank you. So I was like, okay, sir. But I mean, if I can ask, what was the exact reason for calling me? He's like, I just wanted to see your face. I've never seen any student who did not have a library card in his lifetime. So I was like, okay, great. So yeah, so I mean, being a part of JNU now, I sometimes go visit library because I'm actually a part of the library committee. But yeah, I mean, library is one place. But but then now I see that library is also a lot of automation has happened in library science also, and there are PhDs which are given in library science how to effectively manage these things. It's quite fascinating actually. uh, Earlier, when you go when we used to go to get books, here there is a market called Bed Sarai near my place, and in Purani Delhi there is a market. I'm forgetting the name. So there, people, the shopkeepers, you just say, I want a book from this, and they would just simply go and get that book. It's quite fascinating. They're having like thousands and thousands of book, and they would remembering it, where a particular book with a particular author name is available. So I mean, yeah, I mean, digitization has happened in library science also, by the way. And there are some very good e-learning initiatives which are being implemented by some top institutions, like IIT Delhi. You can go and access IIT Delhi e-learning module on on their library website, and you can pretty much access any book that they have there. So these are kind of quite fascinating. Anyway, so you're a bunch of lot of different streams. I think it's good that BAMU organizes lectures on areas which are common to pretty much everybody. Of course, refresher courses also happen on specific area specific topics, but refresher courses on e-learning, LMS, and things similar. I mean, they provide an opportunity to bring people which cuts across various spectrums. So it's interesting. All right, just 1 second. I need to close the door because there's a lot of noise, and we can start with the next module, which is e-learning. All right, just 1 second. Yes. So let me just share the screen once again. Just 1 second.
एक मिनिट.
So I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Great. Just 1 second. Let me just start the slideshow 2. Yeah. Yeah. So we come to the module or the phase second of the presentation, in which I'll be discussing e-learning. And I begin with some of the key components of higher education, because all of us are a part of the higher education of this country. Yeah, so key components of higher education. And where e-learning is prevalent in these in this category of education. So online admission and registration systems. Now everybody knows this. CUET is an exam which is digital. There is a organization by the government called NTA, National Testing Agency, right? So they are in a process. So their responsibility is to conduct various exams all over the country. And these online, then you have another very large scale exam that happens for our engineering and for I think architecture, which is called as CSAP JOSA counseling undergraduate exams, uh, in which the entire process became online at the advent of COVID. So what happens is that people give JEE mains exam. So JEE mains exam themselves are conducted in the online mode. Earlier, when I was studying, only GMAT, GRE examinations to go abroad used to be conducted in the online mode. But nowadays, pretty much many papers are conducted in the online mode. So these exams, so JEE exam happens, and you get the result also in the online mode. You don't have to go somewhere, look at a paper and see your name with your rank there. Now everything comes on your screen on a computer. You get your JEE mains rank, and then these counseling start. They also start in an online mode where you will register in the online mode. You will fill your preferences, which college you want, where. So you get a list of about 150 200 colleges to fill, and then once the process starts, you are shortlisted and you are given your first preference or whichever preference based on your merit. And thereafter, what happens is that you need to download your documents on it, and all these documents that you have, your 10th mark sheet, your 10th certificate, 12th, your important credentials like your Aadhaar card, your domicile, all that you upload online, and then they get verified also online. So I'm actually I'm actually the deputy in charge of JOSA counseling for Jawaharlal Nehru University Verification and Help Center. So I am the one who, among other faculty members, spearheads the document verification. You raise queries online, those queries are addressed online, the seats are confirmed online, people pay online. So these days you can actually get admission in any college of the country based on your rank, just sitting at your home. You don't have to go anywhere else. And that's the power of e-governance and these electronic methods. So yeah, so online admission and registration systems are a part of e-learning nowadays. I mean, they're a precursor to e-learning. You have digital examination systems like online hall tickets. Hall tickets are generated online. You are today sitting and attending an RC refresher course. You were given admission to this refresher course for about 2 weeks time online only. Yeah, you filled a form which was online, right? And you were confirmed in this course online only. So now know that everything happens in an online mode. You have on-screen evaluations. There are papers which are conducted online, and result automation. Results are almost immediately generated. Like I don't know how many people have used Google Forms to take quizzes in their classes. Is there anybody who's used Google Forms to take quizzes in their classes? I think, yeah. So roll number 39 has used it, right? So what do? You create a quiz. Google Forms were though definitely not made initially to take quizzes because there are a lot of aspects, but then we always kind of use them to, give exams to students in an objective mode and whatnot. And there is a method, as soon as somebody submits, they're auto graded and you get the results. So result automation is also possible in the online mode, and it's become a part of e-learning to quite a bit. And after COVID, I mean, a lot of people still continue to use many of these forms. Google Classroom is also one of the ways in which people, get linked to their classes, push assignments, people submit assignments, they can be checked, they can be marked, and those kind of things happen. Uh, E-governance for finance and HR in higher education, this has also been very prevalent. Payrolls and leave management, we have a LMS system for applying leaves. We have an LFS system that sends us automatically our pay slips. Online procurement in the government of India has started a website called GEM, right? Government e-market, it's called. So if we have to buy something, some equipment, say desktops or whatever, I mean anything that we have to buy as a part of the government institution, we go to the GEM portal and buy. And even if you're not government, I'm sure in private institutions also there is only a certain way in which you can buy certain things, right? So, and most of the ways in which we buy things these days are online. So online procurement is also a part of um, is one of the components of the higher education where digital means are being used. Academic data management, of course, as faculty members, we are all managing academic data. Digital attendance is there are some institutions that have their LMSs Like when I was working in Noida in JSS Academy of Technical Education, which is a part of JSS Mahavidyapita Karnataka, Mysuru, Karnataka. So they had an LMS where whenever we used to go to the class, we used to take attendance on a piece of paper. They used to give us attendance sheets. And we had to come and upload them on our LMS and they became digitized. So they were used to create DBAR lists at the end or during the mid-semester examination. So those kind of things used to happen. Here also there is duplicacy that we were kind of, like doing it on paper and also on, by digital means. But the fact is that, digital attendance does happen in many institutions, right? Curricular mapping. Curriculum is also something that, digitally is available to students. We map curriculum all the time. I think many people today uh, in many institutions undergo accreditation process of NBA or NAC. All those things which are required for you to be NBA accredited or NAC accredited, they all are all that data has to be provided in an online mode. You have to prepare it online, you have to submit it online, and then many times it's so you also get a feedback from these bodies before they come for visit, and they share their inputs and their thoughts on it. So all that data automation takes place. So here are some of the key components where digitization has happened and they have become an integral part of e-learning. First is online admission and registration, digital examination systems, e-governance for finance and HR, and academic data management. Of course, I again repeat, these are not the only places where it is used, but we generally, kind of relate to all these um, aspects being part of, the higher education system of our country. Some of the Indian examples of e-learning I'm talking about now. Swim platform, right? So Swim platform is a very, very fine example of e-learning. Everybody at some point of time must have accessed Swim portal, NPTEL lectures, where, people, very good professors from, very many institutions, they come and they teach in an online mode, right? I have studied some subjects from NPTEL. They're not just IIT or IIM or ISC professors. You have various central universities also coming, several, nowadays even certain industries and some people who want to, share knowledge with the world, and they come on these platforms and they generate their own lectures and videos, and then they, disseminate it online. You have to pay a very nominal fees if you want to give an exam and get a certificate. Otherwise, pretty much everything is for free. You can always access these lectures. They are also available on YouTube. So YouTube has become a very big repository of e-learning resources. Pretty much everything is available. And of course, all that cannot replace a classroom interaction. But if you really need to learn something, you don't really need to go anywhere except open YouTube these days or Swim portal. Swim portal also has some limitations in the sense that you have lectures of certain subjects on certain topics in those areas, and then you also have some timelines in which they happen. But YouTube is at your convenience, right? You can find a lot of NPTEL and Swim lectures on YouTube. The entire video content is available on YouTube. So, yeah, so YouTube is, of course, an example of e-learning, but talking about some structured initiatives that have happened by the government of India, SWIM is obviously one of the leading ones and a shining example of e-learning the country has. Uh, then we also have DigiLocker for digital verification. Many of us have DigiLockers, and the documents which are uploaded on DigiLocker, they are verifiable everywhere and everybody accepts it at any stage. Even when we are verifying documents online during counselings, sorry, during counseling process, if people don't have original documents, we ask them to, upload a DigiLocker document. So, we trust a DigiLocker document. Authenticity is also an important part, because these days you have these editable PDF, softwares where you can pretty much make any document, right? So, so what do you do? You need to, have some sort of standard that you can use where authenticity of the document becomes an implicit part of the entire process, right? So DigiLocker for degree verification is very vital. If your degree is there and it's come from a DigiLocker, we know it's authentic. If your mark sheet of class 10th or your certificate of class 10th is there on DigiLocker, we consider it authentic. All right. So that's about it. A national academic depository. So that's another, I would say, a shining example of the government of India initiative, e-learning initiative. So is there anybody who knows what is National Academic Repository? So, National Academic Depository is actually it is an initiative which is kind of born out of the desire of the government to provide online storehouse for all academic awards, right? So it's available 24/7 of all your academic awards, degrees, diplomas, etc., etc. So it's all available there. And these are DigiLocker and NAD, National Academic Depository. They are basically initiatives of Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, METI, and Ministry of Education, respectively. So DigiLocker is part of METI, and NAD is a part of the Ministry of Education, right? Then comes the All India Survey on Higher Education portal, right? So the surveys cover all institutions in the country which are engaged in imparting higher education. The data is actually collected on several parameters such as teachers, student enrollment, programs, examination results, education, finance, and infrastructure. It's a very common phenomena that happens in government institutions. I'm not aware whether even the private institutions participate, but we every semester we have to give data on what kind of courses are running, how are we adopting NAP, what are the aspects of NAP that we're adopting. So all that information goes to the All India survey on higher education portal.
Even private institutions,
I see.
they go for this, sir.
Okay.
Because it is managed by the university, respective university. Affiliating university is taking care of that.
I see. That's nice. So we go, and in fact, we also often are flooded with RTIs on the data. So we have to make the data not only for this portal but even for RTIs.
Yes, sir. But I just have some clarification here. Yes, see, in AICT portal we have scholarships. We need to give the number of scholarships. But already there is a centralized portal for scholarship by the government where they have all the data for the scholarships. Right, sir? So it'd be better if they provide the scholarship data from government
certainly.
portal, and apart from that, management or other private scholarships, so we can provide. So that is something which.
Yeah. So see, the thing is that the integration has not really happened. So there are different organizations with different datas, and there is nothing central. Like for example, the best thing would be like suppose you are giving certain scholarships. That data should automatically go to these portals. That doesn't happen, right?
Yes.
There are student enrollment. Like for example, the day the CSAP counseling happens, we know how many students have got enrolled in Jawaharlal Nehru University in School of Engineering. But we have to give that data to this portal every year. It can automatically glow. A Government of India organization is setting up the body of CSAP. They are doing everything using government database, but still we need to provide. So that integration has not really happened, and I think it's a major challenge. I mean, it has to happen. Like for example, and integration has happened. It's quite successful at other areas. Like for example, in finance, you just have to enter your PAN card, and a lot of things of yours come to know. You know all your bank accounts. You know which bank account has how much money. You can tell about what all transactions you've taken, whether how many loans you have, what is your outstanding credit balance on a credit card, all that is available. So I think so education sector really needs to be integrated much like the financial sector has been, and it's kind of missing right now because a lot of aspects, I mean, okay, I mean, things are complicated in every sector, but yeah, you're right that, some sort of a integration has to happen at some point of time, and I think it'll be good. So yeah, so point taken.
Yes, sir.
agree with
And
what
I also came to know that there is something called as One Nation, One Database project is going on, and it is as part of this NSWS, National Single Window System,
Yeah.
where they would integrate all the ministries in under one shell. So this is what
Yeah.
I came to know,
Yes.
but still it is not implemented. We are
No,
waiting
no,
for that.
these things will run for many years, maybe your entire lifetime. Things will keep on improving. So, there is this one website. I don't know exactly which. During the next break, I will go and have a look at it. All the important ministry websites and all the important initiatives of Government of India, they all come on one page.
Yeah,
And
that is NSWS, sir.
yeah, so then,
Yeah, yeah.
we require that kind of an integration. And I would say that even that is not complete, right? But
Yes, that is also not complete.
so it's all a part of Digital India campaign. And hopefully, things will only improve slowly. But, you can't really, no specific government can be given credit for it. It's an ongoing process. Every government will come and contribute to it. Uh, it also depends upon the dynamism of the people who are managing these things also. So not everything is very straightforward. Sometimes you have to, think of certain things and implement it in a certain way. That's why there are some good administrators, not so good administrators. There are visionaries, there are people who are not such great visionaries. So those kind of things will always, affect the pace at which these activities move on and carry on. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I get your point. Yeah, thank you for sharing your insights on these matters. Thank you. Yeah, so coming back, so e-office for administration, this is a portal that all the government of India correspondences happen on e-offices whenever we have to take permissions, whether it's a financial matter or it's an academic matter or it's an administrative matter, we move certain files, and that happens through a National Informatics Center software, which is called as e-office. So here are some shining examples of how e-learning actually is being taken in is actually being implemented in the Indian context. Yeah, so e-learning. So e-learning is digital or online learning delivered through the internet-based technology. I think that's very. I think the word itself is very self-explanatory. There are certain types of e-learning. Of course, people may categorize them in whichever way, but there are certain ways. So first is asynchronous learning, where you have pre-recorded lectures, you have discussion boards, you have self-paced modules. Like I would say that YouTube is actually a part of the asynchronous learning. Then you have synchronous learning in the sense that there is a one-to-one correspondence between one who's delivering the lecture and the one who's receiving the lecture. So live classes are it. Like for example, right now, if there is something that you're learning from whatever I'm saying, it's a part of synchronous learning, right? I'm here talking, you are here listening, and if there is any issue, you can talk to me, you can address, like participant 79, number 79 contributed to it. So, synchronous learning is basically what we're doing today. So live classes are it. Virtual classrooms also, because, I mean, in a way, this is also kind of a virtual classroom only. There is a very, thin line separating these things. Webinar based learning, they're also a part of synchronous learning. Of course, there are many people who may disagree. The categorization is not very hard in the sense that, something is in one category, so it'll always remain like that. So the whatever we're doing right now is getting recorded. If it's played, then synchronous becomes asynchronous. So, but yeah, I mean, you can kind of understand what I'm trying to say when I say synchronous learning or asynchronous learning. Then there is blended learning, right? So a combination of online and face-to-face learning. It's strongly promoted by the National Education Policy 2020. So I do blended learning quite a lot, and I think I'll tell you how I do it. So it's like, suppose I need to do some lab exercises with my students, and my class strength is 120. So we don't have labs big enough with computers in which we can like make all the 120 students sit at one point of time and do it. breaking them in a batch of 30 and giving them information will keep me busy for a very long period of time. So what I do is that I make all the students sit in one room. We have that big of rooms, or even if 60 is available, we can do that. And what I do is I either ask them to join a Zoom link or a Google link, and they join it, they put themselves on mute, and I share the screen with them and start teaching them. I start coding on maybe some software, and they're able to see it. So they're available online in the class where I'm giving the lecture in the offline mode. So I'm talking to them also, I'm telling them what to do, but I'm doing it on a computer, and they're able to see what I'm doing on a computer. But they can hear me live at that time when they're in the class. So it's an example of blended learning. I'm sure there can be some other examples of blended learning also. Then you have hybrid model, in the sense that students can choose offline and online. And this model can also be asynchronous, synchronous. Like for example, suppose I video record my lectures. Students who are coming in the class can hear me at that point of time, and people who cannot, I can upload that video on Google Classroom or some other place, and they can access it at some later point of time. So yeah, so these are probably one of the four ways in which e-learning reaches us: asynchronous learning, synchronous learning, blended learning, and hybrid model. So so there are some principles, I believe, which I think learning requires, and e-learning kind of fulfills them in some way or the other, and with some success or the other. First is the demonstration principle. We know that learning gets promoted when the learners observe a demonstration, right? Like you may see how something works. If I give you a demonstration, you will be able to understand it better, right? Suppose I want to demonstrate that the time period of the pendulum while it is oscillating remains the same. Instead of just telling you, if I can show you how that happens, a pendulum is swinging and I start a clock at the time when I drop the pendulum bob. When it comes back after a certain time, and the process repeats and the time interval is the same. That will get ingrained in your memory, and you'll always remember. So demonstration principle is very, very principal to learning, and e-learning does that very easily. Like right now, if I want to show you how a F1 car runs very fast, I can just simply open a YouTube video and I'll show you. So I'm demonstrating it, and that leaves an impression with you. And demonstrations help you in retaining things, not just learning things, but they help you retaining things. Like people say, that the best way to explain something is by talking about it. The better way is to write it so that the student can access it whenever he or she wants it. Even better is that we say one picture is worth 1,000 words. A moving collection of pictures is even more valuable. So whenever you are observing a demonstration, it has a lasting impression, and e-learning is able to do it, right? Then there is an application principle. So there are many times we say that, okay, we are learning a certain concept. Where is its application? Where is it used? Like a lot of times my son asks, why are we doing this? So we have to tell them why. I mean, there was a time when anybody could tell us anything and we'll be like quiet because he's a teacher. But today students, they challenge you. They ask you, what is the point of learning this? Why are we doing this? So you have to tell them what is the application of what you're doing. And sometimes not everybody is very expressive. Like not everybody can explain a certain application. So the best thing that you can do is that you can probably start a video of what that application is all about, and then the student understands what you are trying to explain but cannot explain it that good. So application principle is also something which is much more easier to deliver to students using e-learning rather than face to face, right? Then next thing is task centered principle. So uh, learners, when engaged in task centric instructional strategies, so there are certain things that you learn so that you are able to fulfill a certain task. Not everything is some knowledge that you will use God knows when later in your life, but there are certain things which need to be learned and implemented as a part of a task. So there also I think e-learning is better, because let's say that I do not know how many people here are from state universities where you are given election duties. Like there are a lot of faculty members who are asked to go for election duties. Now they become in charge of some election booth for a day, and things like that. So you need to be provided certain training, and the task of that training is that you become in charge of a booth, looking at how people are coming, how they are voting, what are the processes that need to be done before they vote, what will happen after they have voted. And I need to train you for this. Instead of making you sit in a class, if I show you a video where I'm able to tell you what all things need to be done, if I automate that video and tell you step one, you have to do this, step two, you have to do this, step three, you have to do this, and all that happens through a video rather than me telling you in a class where you're able to only see my face, I think these task-centered activities become much more. Uh, it becomes much more interesting to learn task-centric activities through e-learning, right? Then there is another thing, which is the activation principle. Learning gets promoted when learners activate prior knowledge or experience. So when you see something, you are able to recall something many times. I'm not saying it happens every time, but sometimes when you're learning something new, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, this kind of relates to something that I did before. Oh yeah, one of the concepts which are being used here, I used it when I was small, or something like that, right? So when you see things in front of you moving, if you see things in front of you coming, through these digital platforms, you're able to relate to some prior knowledge. It automatically gets triggered in you. Like, oh yeah, this I remember, like for example, oh yeah, I remember that somebody used to just enter the room, they used to get a print on their nail, and then they used to go and cast their vote. I mean, this is not happening in front of you, but then you remember it from your past memory. Maybe you accompanied your parents to a voting booth or whatever. So e-learning kind of initiates that activation principle, right? And all this happens subconsciously, and uh, and it's very important, and e-learning kind of helps you attain all these things, right? Then there is an integration principle also involved. Like, so e-learning, you when you see something in front of you moving around, or being there, and you're able to look at it at your own pace, and it tends to get seamlessly integrated, uh, and becomes a part of your experience through life, as a part of your overall learning process, which has taken like many years to culminate. So I think these are the certain aspects: the demonstration principle, the application principle, the task centered principle, activation principle, and integration principle. They are very, very very, very principle, and very, very vital for uh, gaining knowledge, and e-learning kind of fits the bill. And I've also mentioned that the American Psychology Association talked about these five principles of instructions, and they are vital for any kind of an instruction, but e-learning kind of very, very easily accommodates all of these instructions. So yeah, so it is kind of interesting that it does, and that's perhaps the reason why e-learning has also become very, very popular these days. A lot of students, they don't want to come to the class. Like I in JNU, uh, there are times when students so I may have like 50 people in the class, but there are times when only 5 or 6 or 10 are sitting in the class and they don't come, but everybody gives the paper and they do very well. Where are they learning from? A lot of people are learning through e-resources, right? So yeah, so you have e-resources are increasing in their count. E-learners are also increasing their count. But then I think uh, having a discussion on whether it's good or not, that's a separate thing. But the fact remains that e-learning is increasingly becoming a mode of learning and information dissemination, which is finding acceptance with a large number of people in this country and in the world, right? Just one second. Yeah, so there are there are government initiatives to improve digital literacy. So digital literacy means literacy by digital means. For a layman, I think this would be the best way to say it, and promote e-learning. So you have these projects. You have the Bharat Net project. It was introduced in all Gram Panchayat areas. of the country, provides broadband connectivity to all telecom providers. You have the National Digital Literacy Mission. It was initiated in 2014 by Ministry of Communication and Information Technology to equip every family member with essential digital literacy skills. These days, these skills are being imparted to students at a very early age in school only. Like there are classes where people are used. Like I know my nephew is in class 5. When he was in class 3, which was I think probably he was maybe 7 or 8 years old, he was told how to make an apple on paintbrush, right? So to be able to do that, you need to know how to start a computer. You need to know how to access a certain software. So yeah, digital literacy is happening at a very early stage, and that's why I think probably these students are much more smarter in their general outlook towards life, because they are being exposed to things that we as children were not exposed to. We often say the people of we often say this thing, that the kids of today's era are smarter than what we were at their age. Very rarely do we understand why is that happening. You see, as growing up, we were not exposed to so many things in life. We had a house, we had our parents. In the evening, we'll go to play. We will come back, probably get scolded, do our homework, go to sleep. Get up in the morning, go to the bus stop. What were the kind of programs that we were looking at on the TV? There was Doordarshan, there was Krishi Darshan, there was Sablok, there was Chitrahar. These are the kind of things you were looking at. You were looking at 1960s movies. But today's child is looking at YouTube, is looking at Instagram, is playing video games. Uh, they are the whole world is available and accessible to them on the internet. So they are learning at a very rapid pace, very rapid pace. Like, there were like many countries that I did not even knew that existed uh, till I reached a certain age. But these people, they can, they just type a country name and they come to know about. So all this information which is available to them, the ways and means in which they can learn, it has risen exponentially. And when you challenge
Sir,
your brain with information, you're only going to become.
sir,
Yes.
but this Gen Z generation is just copying the things from the chat GPT and all these things. They
So
are
so
knowing the
yes.
codes.
So
Yeah,
the
they are knowing
thing
the
is that,
codes.
yeah, so overutilization of anything is bad. And
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, so see, the thing is this. Let's say today, yeah, so this is a disadvantage, right? But
yeah.
Chat GPT is just one application. You should discourage your children from using Chat GPT, and I don't mind saying it on a public platform. The reason is this. I'll give you
Yeah,
an
they
example
are
why I
not
say
knowing
that.
how they have created the code.
Yes. So Chat GPT kills your ability to think and comprehend a problem, because it is readily available with a solution. I'll give you a small example. I gave, and I'm not even talking about school kids. I'm talking about college kids who are like 20, 21 years old. They're adults. What happened was I gave a question in my class to students, and students sit with their laptops, right? They have internet on their phones, and people were not able to solve that problem. So one student says, "Sir, can I type it on Chat GPT? It will give me a solution." So he typed it on Chat GPT, and they gave a complete solution, and the answer was right. Now, if ChatGPT was not available, the student would have gone back to his hostel room or wherever, would have thought of that problem, maybe a day, maybe 2 days, maybe a week, would have, contacted other fellow students, thought about it, did some discussion, and probably, even if the student would have failed to come to an answer, there were a lot of life traits that the student would have learned, like struggling with something, thinking about it even when you're not thinking about it, activating your subconscious, asking other people, learning how to work in a team. All this is going away because of Chat GPT. I tell so I have one son, he's just 5 years old, he's young. I have a nephew who's 10 years old, and I have made it a strict policy in my house that no assignment that my kids do from school should be based on Chat GPT. Nothing. If a student of mine comes to me with a computer code written on chat GPT, I give him zero or give her a zero mark. I've said it at the start of the lecture. I say, if you use chat GPT to do anything in my class, I will fail you. You can do whatever, even if you do whatever, even if it's absolutely correct and you are the most brilliant student who has come to my class, I will fail you. Because I believe once you echo you, I think chat gpt, computer and all these AI sources, they are there for our convenience. We should not start to depend on them for everything. Like somebody has to write an application, chat gpt में डाल दो हो जाएगा. Somebody has to say, okay, I want to write a letter, chat gpt में डालो निकल आएगा. So what are you doing? You're not learning anything. You're not challenging your mind. And yes, I think participant 32, I think Dr. Kundan has very adequately mentioned this thing that, Chat GPT is ruining a lot of things. And these are the pitfalls of technology. Maybe somebody in this refresher course may talk about the pitfalls of e-learning and these LMS systems, because yeah, I mean, they obviously everything that happens, uh, one side of it is uh, talking about the positives, but you also have to be mindful of the negatives that it's bringing. And yes, things like chat gpt, it's destroying the ability of students to think and comprehend and other things.
So even some countries have banned that use, and they are again focusing on book reading.
Yes, definitely,
In
I've
their
banned it
country,
in my house.
quite.
I mean, I can only control certain things in my house. I've banned it in my house. Nobody will use chat gpt in my house. Nobody will use chat gpt in my class. I've done that. You used, if if people like us use chat gpt for something that saves time, understandable. I mean, it's not as if, like, I don't know how to write a letter. If I have shortage of time, maybe I'll ask chat gpt to write it for me. But if I only depend upon chat gpt to write letters for me, well, I mean, who's losing? Chat gpt is only learning, right? It is only becoming better, but I am not learning anything, so I don't want to do anything using chat gpt. I'll tell you another very interesting thing that has happened. And some student of mine did it, and I was very furious. I downgraded his evaluation by 2 grades. He was expected to write a conference paper, and no, no, it was a fairly low level journal paper that he wrote. And he just wrote it on himself. He wanted to publish it himself. So he puts it on the general submission portal, and he gets one of the feedback as a part of the review. He's told that the references that you have used are all very old. You should probably refer to those articles as references which are like within 5 years of publishing your paper or putting it for submission. Like, for example, he was publishing it in 2025. All his references or most of his references were prior to 2020. So the reviewer said, please include some current and latest trends in your paper. So what does this guy do? Instead of searching them, instead of going through them and trying to see whether they talk about relevant matters which are relevant to what work he has done, he simply takes up one reference, he puts it on chat gpt, and he writes the following command. He says, give me a reference within the last 5 years on an area in which authors of this paper have worked. So ChatGPT gives him a relevant paper according to ChatGPT, right? It gives him a DOI. Without even accessing that paper, he just simply cuts, copy, pastes that reference there. Okay. ChatGPT also gives him some DOI, like a digital object identifier, right? So he comes and he does this for all the papers. Okay. So I was just checking it. I just clicked on one of the DOIs and it says the paper doesn't exist. And then I was like, and then I was like, ये कहाँ से उठाया तुमने? ये कहाँ से आ गया? ये तो एग्जिस्ट ही नहीं करता पेपर. अब बच्चे तो बच्चे ही होते हैं, कह रहे सर मैंने चैट जीपीटी में डाला, मैंने उनको बोला लेटेस्ट पेपर्स दे दो, उन्होंने दे दिया. मैंने कहा तुम्हें रिव्यू का कितना टाइमलाइन मिला था? कह रहा है सर 3 महीना. मैंने कहा कितना टाइम हो गया? कह रहा है सर अभी 10 दिन पहले रिव्यू आया. मैंने कहा तो तुम्हें टाइम की कमी थी क्या? तुम्हें मैं चिल्ला रहा था क्या तुम पे? क्या तो तुमने ये करा क्यों? फिर मैंने उसको बोला कि उसने 29 रेफरेंसेस डाले थे और 29 में से आई थिंक 8 या 9 रेफरेंसेस तो एग्जिस्ट ही नहीं करते थे, बिकॉज डीओआई हुआ था, एग्जिस्ट ही नहीं करते थे। और जो बाकी थे एग्जिस्ट करते थे, सम ऑफ द पेपर्स वर आल्सो फ्रॉम वेरी गुड जर्नल्स, but the man had no clue about those what is written in them. He was just blindly trusting what chat gpt is giving. So that kind of a trust on chat gpt information is also not good. You don't need to do all this. Why are you doing this? You're not hard pressed for time. Your teacher is not troubling you. Your teacher is not forcing you. The general people are not forcing you. Do the work the traditional way. How will you learn? Anyway, I was very angry on him. He's a good student of mine, but I dropped his grade by 2. I was like, I will not give you grade. It was a part of some project that these guys were doing. Anyways, so yeah, chat gpt, I don't like chat gpt. I mean, I don't like AI. My wife catches me all the time because of AI when I'm shopping on Amazon. I don't like AI. Anyways, yeah, coming back to the presentation. So Saksharta Abhiyan is also a digital scheme that has been implemented by the government. Digital India campaign that I think I was discussing with the participant number 79. Then there's the Internet Sathi program. That's also one of the things. Then Pradhan Mantri Gramin Digital Saksharta Abhiyan. This is also there. So there is another portal by Government of India where all the PhDs in various institutions, they go and get repository there. I'm forgetting the name of that portal, but you get a lot of research material on that.
Swam.
So Swam is not that. I think it's some other portal. Maybe somebody can Google.
Shodh Ganga.
Yeah,
Shod Ganga,
Shodh
sir,
Ganga.
it is.
Shodh Ganga. So maybe when you give your exam, at the end of this RC, I'll give one question that what is that portal, and maybe Shodh Ganga is the answer. So I've already given you one question for your final examination. So I'll put that there. Anyways, yeah, moving ahead. So what are the benefits and challenges of e-learning? Well, they're very obvious. Benefits is that it's scalable and accessible. These days, e-learning is available everywhere. You go to YouTube, you'll get everything. Scalable, you can, what we mean by scalability is that how many people can use it. Like a YouTube video can be accessed at the same time by crores and crores of people. So e-learning is very scalable, right? If you upload a certain video on YouTube, anybody can see it. So it's like absolutely scalable. Supports personalized learning. Whatever you want to learn, you can access it online. So based on whatever you want to learn, you can go and look at e-learning content and learn, right? You don't have to wait for a certain class to start at a certain time. And it's very personalized, it's very flexible. Encourages digital skills. Well, of course, to be able to access digital resources, you need to know how to operate a computer. You need to know what internet is all about and things like that. So yeah, some digital skills improve. And there is a better engagement through multimedia, in the sense that when you see things moving around, videos in which there are things which are being explained by somebody, or there are some cartoons, or there is some way pictorial representation. So there is a better engagement rather than listening to some boring person or anybody. So there's a better engagement when you have e-learning. And the challenges are many. A digital divide exists in remote areas, especially in our country. Not everybody has an access to e-learning. A low digital readiness among teachers. To be very honest, I'm an engineer of this era, and I had not used Google Classroom till COVID. So I had low digital readiness prior to COVID. I can say now safely I'm ashamed of it. But I think over a period of time, I have improved my scenario. I'm sure that many people agree with me, and they are also now better off compared to what they were pre-COVID. So COVID was not all bad. Of course, we lost many valuable lives, but there are certain things to to even rejoice. Limited student motivation. You know, there are a lot of times. I mean, so let me just take an example of this RC also. So there are 73 participants. I'm sure that many of them have switched off their video and are probably doing something else. Maybe sleeping, maybe doing something else. So motivation is not there to listen to somebody, right? Um there are a lot of times when, so I remember this one time I was taking a class of numerical methods, a mathematical course, and students were there, and suddenly somebody's mic was on by accident, and उनके घर में कोई घंटी बजी, तो उन पीछे से उसकी मम्मी की आवाज आया कि अरे उठो, जग जाओ और जाके दरवाजा खोलो. So he was in my class but he was sleeping. So yeah, so motivation of students in digital classes, it's difficult, right? So yeah, limited, not just student motivation, limited motivation of anybody, right? And of course, network issue. I'm delivering a lecture right now, but if the internet of my university goes, there ends the lecture, right? So you're very, very dependent upon these network issues and Wi-Fi connectivity, right? So in
So,
fact,
so may I say something? I mean, may I, if you would if you would just allow me,
you have all
just
the permission, sir. Yeah, please.
so when I was at JNU, there was zero absenteeism. What you have told us right now about the nature of attendance,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
really very shocking. I
Where were you
mean,
in JNU?
with
Which year? Which
huh?
course did you do?
It was in 2000, 2002. I
Oh,
was at Triple S. Uh,
okay. That's fascinating. But I think some years after you left, maybe I think there was a case that went to the Honorable High Court of Delhi, I think, or some court it went, where students challenged the attendance system in JNU. They said,
So
why?
we didn't have any attendance recorded ever.
Okay.
Nobody ever bothered to do that. But there was absolutely zero absenteeism, and I
So
was a very bad student during my graduation in Amravati. But
I
when it was at JNU, I never flunked even a single class.
oh
So
that's lovely.
this basic student engagement, I thought maybe because I am in Amravati, which is a small town, and it's a non-descript college, that we are not getting proper attendance. If it is happening at JNU, then that is very alarming, I suppose. I
So,
mean, something has
it's
to
not
be
just
done.
JNU. I think it's happening everywhere. And I think I think e-learning and these modes are probably one of the reasons why it is happening as well. I think one of the leading causes of it. People think, why do I? So, like for example, uh, since you have been in JNU, so there is a Damodar hostel, right? I don't know whether you can recall it.
It was not there at that time. Mahi
Yeah.
Mandvi
Okay.
was the latest,
Yeah,
as far as
so
I
the
was
Damodar
concerned.
Hostel, yeah, so I'm sorry, it came up in 2018 because engineering students came. It's just where you had the LEC, Linguistic Empowerment Cell. So students come far away from that place. Sometimes they say, sir, we have to travel 3 kilometers, 2 kilometers to come. I said, first of all, I don't know whether it's 2 kilometers or not, but it's like we have to like ride bicycles or walk long distances. So maybe if you can upload the video on Google Classroom, we'll study. So those kind of things have started to happen. And and then people often say, sir, we can study. Can you send some YouTube videos of whatever you have to teach? So and it's not just in JNU. It's everywhere in IITs, in DTU, and SUT. So this is a problem which is plaguing. I mean, uh, uh, the educational setup, I must say. And and then even if you mandate attendance, say 75% mandatory attendance, people are not coming in the class with the notion of studying. They're coming in the class because they don't want to be debarred. They want to just give the paper. So they're coming, sitting, operating their phones, chatting, doodling, all those kind of things are happening. Very, very, very motivated students still come. I mean, I'm not saying that they don't come. I mean, JNU attracts the best of the students from anywhere. It's a research institution. Um, with very, very limited seats, and people who come are very motivated. But I mean, even though they're very smart, doesn't necessarily mean that they'll come to the class. And that scenario has kind of deteriorated over a period of years. You were in 2002, 20 years, it's been like more than 20 years. So yeah, things have changed. I mean, uh,
Sir, NEP is also facilitating
I had
this
a student.
online
So
classes, no?
I'm sorry.
I had a student. I had a student who was very regular at Amravati, this government institute at Amravati, very
Right.
regular, and attended every class. Then he came to me that he got very bad grades in the examination,
Hmm.
and even I was shocked. And I asked him, what were the sources that you used for studying? And he said, YouTube videos. I said, it is not going to, help you. YouTube videos, the nuance is lost. The
Right.
depth is simply not there. The sort of depth we got from our teachers. And then there was this tutorial system where we would present a tutorial, and there would be discussion, students discussing with each other, presenting and discussing, and the teacher giving his opinion. So that was such a great system.
Yeah.
I think this. I mean, I'm still a kind of I'm not really sold on this entire thing. So,
No,
I would
no, I,
like to,
I
but
totally agree with you. You see, you have to just see whatever happens in this digital scenario, we should just pick up whatever works for us. I mean, nobody is saying that it has to be completely adopted, and there is nothing better than some experienced person clearing your doubts right in front of you. No video can, provide it. There is a reason why so much of information has passed on through generations and decades, is because it was imparted probably in the right way, certainly not in the digital way, right? So I believe that, yeah, I mean, you just need to take the positives and see what is positive according to you. I mean, some people may say that we learn quite a lot using YouTube videos, but then there are some people, for them, they just doesn't work. So you have to find out what works for you, in what proportion it works for you, and use it for your benefit. I think people need.
and it was not just the exchange of information. The way we were inspired by our teachers, their
Yes,
work ethic and their
yes.
insistence on perfection and to detail. Professor Ken Panikkar was there. Professor Harbans Mukhia was there. So it was absolutely amazing to directly be in contact with these people and get inspired by them and want to become something like them, maybe
Exactly.
something approximating them. We might not reach that level, but I would really prefer students coming. Sir, thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Right. So yeah, I think you made some very valid points, and I agree with you. I think whatever is happening in the e-learning sector, you just have to pick up whatever works for you, and certain core principles should never be jeopardized, and they are the age-old traditions which have continued over a period of time. I think there is still a charm in going and writing something on the whiteboard or blackboard and explaining to students. I think, I mean, people can call me primitive or orthodox, but yeah, I mean, there were certain things that worked for a period of time, and there is a reason why they worked. Anyway, so we've come to an end to this second phase of e-learning. This was what I wanted to tell. I think it's already, I think it's like 1:15. We'll take a shorter break, maybe like 10 minutes, not 15, and then we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit about certain LMSs, and then we can conclude our interaction, right? So we'll meet at 1:25, right? Thank you.
मशीन मध्ये घाला ना.
मशीन नाही एक्सरे बी नाही म्हणाल तर म्हणा असं दुखाले म्हणजे
Yes, hello. So I think we can like,
Yes, sir, we are here.
I'm sorry?
We are here, sir. No problem.
Oh, okay,
You
great.
can start.
Yeah, let's start. So we have been to benefits and yeah, coming to, I hope you can see the screen. LMS.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes,
Visible
sir.
it is.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So, we come to the last phase, which is we'll talk a little bit about learning management systems. Many of us have already used it, but we will talk about it nevertheless. So a learning management system is basically used to manage online courses. And there are four components of LMS. You have the content management system, which consists of tools with which you can manage digital files. And it also includes tools for uploading, downloading, displaying text and media. You can also provide hyperlinks to other browser pages where students can just click and go. Suppose you want to give them some uh, reference paper or a DOI, you can give them where they can go and identify the resource that you want them to have a look at. So one aspect, one component is the content management component. Then is the user account management component. It comprises of the database of the records of the user details, username, passwords, emails for authentication and data logging. So that's another part of LMS. Like for example, in Google Classroom, what you do is that you provide them with a link to join the group, right? And then they click it and they come and join. And over there, you can see their names with which they've been registered because they have kind of entered it, and their with their email IDs also being available to you, where you can send them messages. So the account management in many of these LMSs happens pretty much automatically because there are some fields that you fill yourself only, so that data gets assimilated in some sort of a database. Then is the communication systems. So this is about synchronous and asynchronous communication tools which are available in a lot of LMSs. So there are some LMSs that allow you to start a video, like for example, a Google Classroom now has a link where a meet link is created, and you just click it and you can Google Classroom makes the Google Meet available to you. You can come just like the way we are sitting here. You can do a Google Meet interaction. So the communication system is there. There are chat rooms where, like for example, if you want to push a message to me right now, you can push it in chat room where everybody can see. You can even give me a personal messages. There are discussion forums. So those kind of communication system tools are there even in LMSs. And then there is an evaluation system where now this is only provided for specialized things. Like for example, if there is a specialized software of LMS which is being used for teaching and learning, here I would say probably the Google doesn't come up with a LMS. I think we generally use Google Forms for quiz, but they were not primarily designed to take a quiz, right? But there are some evaluation systems which become an integral part of LMS systems, and these.
Rubrics.
I'm sorry.
Rubrics they are having. Rubrics they are having.
Yeah.
Rubrics.
I see. Okay. Can you elaborate a little further on what exactly you're trying to say?
So rubrics are there, which are allowing us to do assignments and all these things.
Yeah. Yes.
In some elements they are. Yeah.
Right. So then that becomes a part of the evaluation system only, I believe. So these are some tools which become a part of the evaluation system, like quizzes, assignments, homeworks, and gradebooks, and whatever Dr. Kundan kind of referred to. So why do we need an LMS system? I mean, that's very important. I mean, uh, again, you require it for for different purposes, not just this. It's not an exhaustive list. I once again reiterate. But whatever works for you, you want to take it and move ahead. So LMS system is actually a software platform that manages that has the capability of managing course delivery. I should not have written manages. I think I should have written it has the capability of managing, where you want to just use it for whatever purpose you think you want to use it for. So course delivery is one of those things. Content sharing, of course, you can share contents. Assignments and quizzes also become a part of the content, but here I'm kind of kept it separate, is because when I say content, I mean you want to give them knowledge about the course that you have made the LMS for. Okay. Attendance, of course, anybody can see what attendance they are having in a certain class. And feedback and analytics. You suppose you post an assignment, if somebody wants to say it's too tough, or this is the problem that I did not understand, or once the course is over, somebody you would want to know how well was it delivered, did the students gain anything from it. Then analytics could include feedback also. It could also include what kind of marks students were getting, how many were able to, how many were above the class average, how many were below the class average, how many failed. who were in the top 5% of the class and things like that. So those kind of analytics can be included or integrated with LMSs today in the modern world. What are the core features? The core features are obviously the similar features that I discussed about in the components. You have the course creation, assignment ability, student dashboards where students can write comments and discuss certain things, give a feedback. Grade book, of course, grading can happen. Discussion forums, integration with plagiarism tool. I think this is something that I'm not seen at many. Um, in many of the LMSs, because it requires you to integrate with the popular plagiarism tools which are available. But yeah, I mean, I remember this was a point that was raised at some discussion in the library committee meeting, that when students are working on their projects and are submitting them online, can we actually include a tab where they'll upload it and the plagiarism report will come? So that's why I kind of included it in the plagiarism, this point in the in the presentation, that if we can have an LMS that has some sort of a collaboration with a popular plagiarism tool, I think it will be an important factor, and it will distinguish that LMS from the other existing LMSs. Mobile app support. This is common. I mean, if you can access a certain LMS on your desktop or your laptop, then if a mobile version is available, I think it will be good. It may not be very pleasing to look at sometimes, because of the fact that the screen is smaller and you have to accommodate a lot of information on very limited number of pixels. But yeah, I mean, a mobile app support will be good, because portability is something that we humans cherish quite a bit. Yeah, moving ahead.
Apart from this plagiarism tool, sir, if AI content, how much is the AI content? That tool is also integrated, then we can evaluate the student, because
Yes,
whatever you have said,
so
most of the students are copying pasting.
yes, who is this participant? 21.
32, sir. Kundan Tade.
Oh, Kundanji. Okay, Kundanji. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you make a valid point, but I think a lot of plagiarism tool nowadays have AI checker also with them. So it's become kind of implicit in it. But yeah, if there is a better one, then why not? Yeah, sure. I agree.
Sir, in that case, when we go for AA checker also, it goes very costly.
Cost is always an issue. Yeah.
Yes, yes, that's the problem here.
Yeah. So with even so which is the plagiarism tool that generally you've been using in your universities? If anybody could
I
just.
am using Turnitin.
Yeah,
Sir, for one paper, Turnitin is taking near about 11,000 rupees.
Yeah. So
For a year, it is validated. Yeah.
So there was a discussion in a library committee that a Turnitin license of the university expired. So there was a long lengthy discussion. Should we go for it because it's just too expensive? Jawaharlal Nehru University doesn't generate its own revenue. It's a university which which targets pretty much everybody and everyone, and especially people who are coming from vulnerable section but have great minds. So the university doesn't charge a very high fees. In fact, it's very, very nominal, probably one of the lowest fees in the whole country, and maybe the whole world, one of the lowest, I believe. So we don't generate any revenue of our own, and we are very dependent on the government for funding, and that's how we operate. Even the School of Engineering is one of the only two schools. So there is one School of Engineering, there is one School of Management. These are the only two schools where the fee that is charged is like maybe, I don't know, I don't have any figurative thing, but maybe 50,000 times higher than the fee charged anywhere else. So in JNU for other courses, like the gentleman who's from Triple S, how much fees did you pay for your course every semester, sir? Is he still available? No, I think he's predisposed. Anyways, so the fee is very less for most of the courses. So yeah, there was a very, very big discussion on whether we should continue with Turnitin. And of course, we did continue with Turnitin. But yeah, for private universities and institutions, it becomes difficult to sustain it over a long period of time. Yes, certainly. Yeah,
Sir, I have a question. How to use a plagiarism, since I am of maths field faculty? So we are using all the basic notations, alpha, beta, gamma, all that are there existing one. they are considering it as a plagiarism. Again, the variables x, y, z. Again, the sine, cos, theta. So how to do
Yeah.
that?
So, since I'm not really an expert with in this area, I'll not have a.
Sir, can I contribute?
Sir, to your previous question regarding the fees, uh, I paid nothing. I mean, I don't remember paying any fees really. There were some tuition fees at the start of the during the admission process. I think the hostels were pretty much free. The only fees I remember paying are the mess fees, 800
Yeah.
rupees, and it
Yeah.
was very good mess.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, now you know.
it was
So,
amazing. It was amazing.
yeah.
For
So,
me, coming from a small town, semi-rural area, I think it was a very transformative experience. I
yes.
don't know if it's still.
No, it is still. It is still. So some things they have not changed. So, and it's good that they haven't. So that is what I'm trying to tell you, that because of the fact that we don't generate as an institution our own money, we're heavily dependent upon government funding, and then you need to judiciously use whatever resources come at your disposal. Yeah. So coming to
Sir, we
your,
can go for alumni contributions, no?
I'm
We
sorry.
can raise the funding from alumni We can raise the funding from
Yes,
alumni
certainly.
contributions.
Yes, certainly, certainly.
If such alumni are there, which are reaching up to a certain higher post, they can contribute and the
Yes.
revenue can be generated.
In IITs, that happens quite a bit. But most of the IITians who are alumni, they are CEOs. So they get crores and crores. So they give some of them. That kind of a thing is there. So you can't compare systems. But yeah, I mean, you make a valid point. Coming to the ladies' point about plagiarism for sign cost tan, I think there must be some tool, something that you can check in the plagiarism tool that this is avoided. I think that is something that can be done. Other than that, I think maybe you'll have to search for it. I will not be able to give you a definitive answer because, quite honestly, I have not faced this problem. Though I also write maths equations and everything, but I haven't faced this problem. I think if there is
Sir,
anybody,
if you are putting, yes, sir. Sir, if you're putting that paper in Turnitin, suppose for the plagiarism, then if you're writing citation there, suppose we are giving one there as in square bracket, we are mentioning the citation, then that problem is removed in the plagiarism software also.
I see.
Because many content is showing it is AI generated, it is plagiarized. But if we are writing proper citation there, then it is okay for. They are not showing that it is plagiarized one.
No,
Yes, sir.
This is
actually,
Yes,
my
sir.
experience.
Yes,
no,
I have
actually,
done that also.
but I think what madam is saying, that it is picking up sine, cos, tan, which are normal symbols used everywhere also as plagiarism. Is that what you're trying to say, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm
Sir,
sure.
there is one option that we can eliminate or we can exempt some two or three words, phrases. Okay. So that if you go for that option, you can see that these things are not considered as plagiarism, because it happens with some common phrases when we go through some kind of proofreading of some projects. We also come across this, and we go for the option of the exemption of less than 1% or two or three words can be exempted. So we have an option in Turnitin for that also.
Right. Right. Thank you. Right. Ma'am, I hope you gained something here, and maybe Google it on internet and try to find out.
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Moving ahead, I think. LMS design framework. This is I have picked up from one of the papers that had it. It's very easily in a very interactive way. They have kind of given a design framework for it. So from video lessons to research and exploration, guided practice, individual or pair practice, online discussions, real-time feedback, reading and writing, all this is available in an LMS, and this actually forms the core of any LMS system. I think these are the ingredients of a good and thoughtful design for an LMS system. A few examples. Canvas is a very popular, I think, what do you call it, LMS system. Google Classroom is also pretty good, and Google Classroom, Canvas, I think Google Classroom is much more user friendly. So I think that ways people are more and more biased towards using Google Classroom, which is very simple to use. It gets automatically integrated with your Gmail. Most of it is free of cost. Of course, Google Meet may, if you have to increase the number of participants, then maybe you'll have to pay some, some amount. But other than that, I think it's fairly free. Canvas, I think you need to, I think, buy a subscription for. So maybe not so popular. Kind of complex also. I quite honestly, I would prefer Google Classroom.
Sir, in that Google Meet also one new feature is arrived, that is attendance tracking. That is
Ah.
also helping us. Earlier the problem was of recording the attendance. Now it
Yes.
is resolved by them.
Yes, so I think in Google Meet there was always a you had to just take a click on, download a click on, and it would give you the attendance. In
Yeah,
Google,
sir, they are giving in PDF form, in Excel form, they are giving.
yes, yes. So some of the popular LMS tools, I mean, Moodle is widely used in universities. Google Classroom is there, Canvas is there. There is a Swim LMS, modern LMS platforms. They also offer learning analytics here where AI is used. How many people are coming to your class? How often do they stay in your class? How many people are, coming to it repeatedly? It also gives you dropout analysis, whether a course is like, for example, in these various e-learning platforms like Coursera and Udemy, where lectures are being given and popular lectures are being given. So they do all these kind of analytics. Suppose Varun Saxena has put up a course which has like 10,000 applicants. A course is popular. They would want to run it very often. If there's a course that 10,000 people opted for, but 7,000 have dropped out, they'll be like, not so great. I mean, the content probably is not great. Maybe the delivery is not great. So these kind of analytics, if become a part of your LMS system, it kind of helps run what is popular and what is required. And it makes sense for people who want to run it as a business enterprise. You'd want to run something that gets you some revenue, right? Engagement tracking, that's also very important. How many people are there, for how long do they stay, and such things. Outcome based education, which is an integral part of NEP, gets mapped. What are you studying for? What is the outcome of it? Those kind of, it has certain questions, it has certain metrics. All of that becomes a part of your LMS system. From a larger perspective, it becomes a part of the entire analytics. A case study from an Indian context. I mean, there are some that I've included. So in Delhi University, implemented online admissions, OBE based exams, Moodle based LMSs. It has significantly reduced administrative delays, coming up with timetables. People can, publish their own timetables and whatnot, give their own exams, and there's no centralized date sheet. Delhi University is a very big campus. It's not bounded. Right, making a date sheet for the entire university is not going to be that easy. So, the administrative delays get taken care of automatically. IIT Bombay has come up with MOOCs, massive open online courses, SWEM and, edX. These are all very, very successful LMS platforms in the Indian context. Kerala Digital University is very, very, very famous. I mean, I was looking at some of the examples of Indian and just flashed, so I thought I should probably include it. So they have fully digital academic workflows, e-governance, LMS, analytics, integration. Everything is there. It's very fascinating. You should go on Google and check it out. Arizona State University, they have a Canvas LMS. I think I'll skip it because it's pretty much the same thing. There's nothing much to it. So yeah, so LMSs and rural education. So this is there. I believe that learning management systems can help our country and our governments and institutions to penetrate deep inside the country. The only drawback over here is the literacy level and the tardiness with which people approach these things. But I think that it's more easier to impart knowledge to people in rural areas and tier 3 cities through digital means, through internet, rather than opening up schools and colleges over there. It'll save a lot of money also. But I mean, you do require um, certain initiatives by the government to increase the sensitivity of people towards adapting these ways of learning. With that, I think I'll conclude my session today. And it's been a pleasure interacting with you. Certain key inputs and insights were shared by participants, which I appreciate and enjoyed. And thank you for engaging with me in these hours. I think the time flew. I didn't realize it's been close to 3 hours, maybe because I was giving a lecture and not listening to the lecture. But I hope there was something meaningful. If not meaningful, then at least something that was worth discussing and hearing. At the end, I would like to thank all the participants for attending this lecture. And also, I'm grateful for the BAMO University Aurangabad, HRDC, for calling me as a resource person. I hope our engagement continues in future as well. Thank you so much. Namaskar. Jai Hind.
Sir, kindly
sir.
wait. Roll number 25.
Yes, ma'am. Namaskar. Good afternoon, everybody. Respected Director Madam, Co-Editor Ma'am, Assistant Co-Editor Sir, respected Resource Person, Dr. Varun Saxena Sir, the Department of Computer Science, JNU Delhi, Contemporary E-Learning and LMS Content Development, and all participants. Myself, Dilip Burra, roll number 25 from Assam. Now I am going to the vote of thanks in this session. It is my great honor to propose to vote of thanks on behalf of the organizing committee for this refresher course. I especially thanks goes to our honorable resource person who conducted the session with a great clarity, depth and commitment. Your lecture, interaction and discussion have provided all participants with new perspective, enhanced knowledge and upgraded pedagogical skill. We are truly grateful for your time and expertness. At last, my profound gratitude is extended to all participants of this program, or which are coming from various institutions. Your active participation, thoughtful question, and academic engagement made this course very meaningful. Without your cooperation, the session of this program would not have been possible. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, and enjoy your refresher course, and all the best. And the year
Thank
is going to end soon, so I don't know, maybe we'll meet in some program as participants together. I hope the remaining year is healthy and happy, and many more years to come. I hope they're all healthy and happy. Thank you so much.
Thank
Namaskar.
you very much.
Same to you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you so
Same to
much.
you, sir.
Thank
Thanks a
you.
lot.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much,
Lagi,
sir.
ma'am. Lagi, ma'am.
Yes.
May we leave? May we leave?
Yes, you can leave the meeting. We will join here again at 2:45.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.